Probably the most battle-scarred veteran of the war in the air is the Blue Streak, a Liberator bomber with more firsts to its credit than man-o-war, and over a much rougher track. Cars? After 110 combat missions, the Blue Streak doesn't have many of its original parts left. Unscarred and unshaken, though, is the courage of its crew, back home now to feel again the good earth of America. The men of the Liberandos group lost count of the miles they flew and the thousands of gallons of high octane they used on those 110 missions. But they know that 23 enemy fighters ventured too close to survive, and 3 enemy vessels sank under her rain of bombs. The Blue Streak was in the first group to bomb the European continent, first over Ploesti's oil fields, first over Naples, first over Rome. But it wasn't just the wear and tear of those countless miles that made fresh parts necessary from time to time. This old veteran returned from one combat raid with both wings, a rudder, and an engine so badly shot up as a result of enemy action that they had to be replaced. There have been 19 engines installed on this one plane because of enemy action. What happens when planes in a combat zone need new engines, new wings, new rudders? Sometimes they get them new, but often they come from what looks like a junk pile, like this one in Italy. Officially, it's an Army Air Force reclamation and salvage yard. This Mitchell finally succumbed to too many flak-filled miles. Now it will be disassembled from wing section down to the tiniest nut and bolt, and anything with an ounce of life in it will be reissued to conserve vital materials, to save man-hours of labor, and to speed repair. Very little will go to the scrap pile. Another Mitchell damaged in a forced landing is waiting for these wing sections. This fuselage and tail section is from a battle-weary fortress whose rudder has already been installed in another fort. These window fittings will fly again. The undamaged skin will patch flak and bullet holes in sister ships. Instruments are probably the most precious of all reclaimed parts. Even this stripped fuselage now functions as a storeroom for reclaimed spare parts. Undamaged bulletproof glass covers are urgently needed. Every second-hand part from these junkyards that keeps one of our planes flying frees a factory new part for a new plane to pound the Axis into defeat.
With these guns I have nothing to fear, oh. My guns are the best, they can meet any test. Oh, I'll be the war's greatest hero. Oh, I'm the world's best damn fighting machine, oh. Them Nazis will learn what I mean, oh. My wonderful guns will murder them bums, and I'll bury them in the latrine, oh. Stick him up or I'll blow your brains out! What a rifle! Kamerad! That rifle looks just a bit gooey. If you think I am scared, you plumb screwy. Go on, fire away, buck. Your damn gun's full of muck. Oh, nothing comes out but just hooey.
What a gun, I'm defeated. Such a gun just can't be beaten.
That gun was neglected, no water connected, no wonder it got overheated. Now into German army, mein lieber Herr, our weapons work fine, 'cause we give them great care. Now I'm sunk, I am thinking. Oh, you're perfectly safe, I am thinking. It's musty and dusty and mighty damn rusty. Conditions inside are just stinking. Really, they are. What a clown! Just the kind of boob who lets his battery run down. Though, like all careless gents, he winds up behind fence. Snafu is the war's greatest. Zero.
Two years ago, General Joseph W. Stilwell retreated from Burma with a band of ragged Yanks, British, and Chinese. He said frankly, the Japs gave us a hell of a beating. Today, over vast, trackless, cloud-scraping jungle geography like this, we are battling our way back into Burma. Our purpose in retaking Burma is to blast open a land route to our great ally, China, now cut off by the Japs. Here in this gigantic army depot in Calcutta, India, are the supplies shipped from home 15,000 miles away. Our job? To get the fighting contents of these enormous cases over these saw-toothed mountains to our troops. Supplies and equipment that must still go the last and hardest few miles. This is the beginning of the end of one of the most epic transportation battles of the war, fought day after day by Army railroaders, Army truck experts, transport pilots, native workers. Faced with primitive transportation facilities in India, we use every available means of moving supplies. Use river barges for these P-40 Warhawk replacement motors. Head them for our airfields spread over the China-India-Burma battle area. Airfields from which General Claire Chennault's pilots are blasting the Japs. We take over this rail line leading out of Calcutta to our principal North Burma base at Ledo, headquarters of General Stilwell's forces and starting point of the Ledo Road. Here we meet strange difficulties. Along the route, we are forced to halt and switch from broad to narrow gauge tracks. Complete loads have to be shifted. Fuel must be repoured. There are only a few pieces of modern machinery here. The bulk of the work must be done by hand. At the end of the line, we reload on American-built heavy trucks and keep rolling. And here begins what will go down in the annals of rubber-wheeled transportation as probably the most dramatic and dangerous run ever made on a 24-hour-a-day basis. This is the Ledo Road, still under construction, through North Burma to China. A hairpin highway with a roller coaster grade. A muddy, dusty road through teakwood forests, malaria swamps. A road infested with sniping Japs. And subject without warning to another enemy, landslides. The workers at home who made these bulldozers and trucks probably never realized they would end up above the clouds in far-off Burma. But the job isn't finished yet. This is the headquarters for an airdroppers company. From here, by transport plane and parachute, in specially constructed wicker containers, supplies are delivered from the sky to Allied patrols and roving jungle armies deep in the Burmese interior. To General Merrill's Yank Marauders, to British Chindits, to the Chinese battalions spearing down from Yunnan province, all concentrating on wiping out the Japs in Burma. Food from America packed with rice husks as shock absorbers. By proper packing, by using multiple parachutes, even the most delicate equipment can be safely landed. Radio transmitters like this have been dropped to our troops and retrieved in perfect condition. 50-gallon oil drums, machine guns, grenades, clothing, mail from home. All these are carried for air delivery in our giant flying boxcars, the C-47 Sky Trains. Smoke signal, wind drift indicator. This is where we drop the stuff. Here, for the first time in military history, troops are armed, fed, and equipped from the sky, are free to move without danger of being cut off from their source of supplies. General Stilwell is supplied almost exclusively from the sky, depending on airborne support as he advances against the Japs in Burma. To the fighters on the CBI front, he is Uncle Joe. Here he is with some of those fighters. These are the men who are blasting open the land route from India into China, who are fighting the Battle of the Hills with the Japs in North Burma. Chinese troops fighting side by side with American doughboys. For a year before General Stilwell started climbing back over the 6,000-foot barrier separating India from Burma, thousands of Chinese soldiers like these were undergoing training at a secret American jungle training center in India. The identical training the Yank doughboys themselves were getting. Today, well-trained, well-fed, well-led, tough and hard, armed and equipped with weapons from our own production lines, this is a remarkable army. A mixed army of hard-hitting Yanks and equally hard-hitting Chinese, both sworn to clear the world of the brutal Japs, a job the Chinese soldiers have been trying to do since 1937 and dying in doing it. We're headed for action now, headed south toward Mandalay, where the Japs are sitting astride the Burma Road and fanning out in strong counterattacks toward India. Our forces prepare to cross a jungle stream, load equipment on bamboo rafts, float them across. Four-legged, long-eared, hay-burning jeeps, the only kind that can be used here. Sometimes we're able to build a bridge with native materials as we push deeper into the interior after the Japs. Chinese Joe and GI Joe, both headed in the same direction. we hack our way through impenetrable forests. In Burma, the fighting differs from jungle fighting on the coral islands of the Pacific. Here, both we and the Japs try infiltration, cut-arounds, weave-backs, roadblocks, all the maneuvers in the book, and a few that we make up as we go along. We run into snipers. Bring up and emplace our guns. These are typical scenes of the combat action taking place in all sectors of the vast China-Burma-India front. Battles of the hills, battles of the brush, battles of the roads and trails and passes, battles of the streams. Typical, too, are these scenes. Those of our Chinese wounded who can walk under their own power. The more serious casualties are treated in the field before being carried in crude litters to frontline emergency hospitals. An American medical unit set up in the North Burma jungle, only 7 miles behind the front line. A hospital with a canvas roof and no electricity. This man operating is Colonel Gordon Seagrave, the distinguished American surgeon who lived and worked in Burma for many years before the war. On his staff here are Burmese nurses he trained. After receiving emergency treatment, the wounded are prepared for removal to a base hospital at Ledo. By foot, this is a trip that would take 15 days. Airborne in these small ambulance planes, the wounded can make it in an hour. And here's the tiny ambulance planes return to civilization with their wounded. In another part of the Burmese sky, a giant supply transport crosses back over these great hills with more weapons, more equipment, more ammunition, that the fight against the Jap invaders in this wilderness below may go on. Vast, trackless, tropical jungle, Burma, an enormous Jap-held barrier cutting the Burma Road, starving off China from land-delivered American and English supplies, where Yanks and British and Yank-trained Chinese are carving a new supply route over razorback mountains, through malaria swamps, through an army of desperate Japs who know that from American-maintained airfields in China, we will hit the Japanese mainland itself, as we and the RAF have burned and blasted industrial targets in Hitler's Europe. Pinpoint precision delivery. These precious bundles must hit these tiny patches cleared in the jungle, or be lost. We are on our way.